So when it comes to dating and socializing, there seems to be a lot of emphasis on how people have a fear of rejection. And although that is definitely true, there's lots of people that fear rejection. In my case, I find that it's not so much rejection that I'm afraid of, but more so the fear of making others uncomfortable and the fear of, the vibe just being really off and just being very nervous or awkward or whatever. And yeah, just the fear of making, the situation uncomfortable for the other person is a fear I know I've had, and maybe other people have also experienced it. So I thought I'd make a video to help kind of deal with this a little bit better. So first of all, all you can do is try your best, right? And you can't control what other people feel, right? You can to a certain extent, right? Like if you're more confident and you're more fun and just really enjoying yourself, chances are people will have, you know, will feel a little more comfortable, right? So you can control to a certain degree, I guess, but ultimately, people are going to feel how they feel, and sometimes you just have no control over, how they respond, right? Even if you are being really fun and outgoing, maybe some people still somehow feel uncomfortable, like you never know, right? So there's only so much we can control, right? And all we can do is take any sort of necessary feedback as well, right? So even if you thought you might have did something wrong, or if you thought it was really awkward, you can talk to the person later if you have their number, or if you see them again, and you can ask for any sort of feedback. And yeah, that's really, besides that and just simply trying your best, there's not much else you can do, right? So just understand that as long as you're trying your best, there's really uh, nothing else you can ultimately do, right? And you also need to understand that, at least in my opinion, we are meant to be uncomfortable, right? Like anybody who thinks that, life is just supposed to be this, this perfectly, comfortable thing. And, usually that person isn't, in my opinion, does not have the right approach to life at all, because if you're constantly worried about being comfortable all the time, chances are you're staying in your own little bubble and you're not really expanding yourself, you're not really growing, you're not really putting yourself out there, and you're really not, you know, approaching life in the way that you should, and you're not growing in the way that you, in my opinion, that you should, right? Some people maybe want to stay in their little bubble of being comfortable all the time. But if you're watching this kind of content, I'm assuming that you want to grow, you want to improve, and you want life to be better. And a lot of the times that comes with being uncomfortable, right? So that's another way to look at it, is that being uncomfortable is honestly a normal thing. It's a normal thing that happens in life. Even me making these videos is uncomfortable for me, right? I'm getting a little better at it, I think. But again, like me doing this shit right now is uncomfortable, right? And I'm not complaining about it, right? Because I know that by putting myself out there and making these videos, that will help me work on my communication skills, my social skills, and it'll help me, helps me get out of my comfort zone, right? Which is ultimately what helps you lead to growth. All right. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. Let me know what you guys think below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.